Dear students, in this video lecture, we will discuss about the models of rainwater harvesting. As we all know that depending upon the availability of the space, the storage tanks or the pattern of the water collection and storage is different. So here we will be studying about the models of rainwater harvesting which are different for different areas. That is, here it has been given as two different areas, that is for the rural areas and the urban areas. So first we will look into the rural model of rainwater harvesting. Rural areas generally use traditional methods of rainwater harvesting. Main motive of rainwater harvesting in these areas is to facilitate irrigation for agriculture and use of water for domestic and drinking purpose. In the rural areas, the main purpose of storing the water is for the domestic purpose as well as for the irrigation purpose. Sometimes they may also use it for the drinking purpose. Nowadays, practices are also being followed to reach groundwater levels. So, by the intention of storing the water and making it use for the different activities, again they are interested in storing the water below the ground surface also, that is the recharge of ground levels. Many of the traditional structures include tankas, nadis, talabs, baudis, rapats, kuls, virdas, kunds, khadins, johats, etc. So these are all some of the structures name which are named in different places differently, so that they store the water in case of this different types of structures. So there are some of the examples. Bawadi is a traditional step wells are called Wawada in Gujarat and Baradis in Rajasthan and northern India. So these are all some of the structures which have step-like features where the water is stored. Kunds. So they are covered underground tank developed primarily for tackling drinking water problems. So there are underground tanks which are covered which mainly serve for the drinking water purpose. So these are all some of the structures which we see in case of the rural areas. Next, looking into the structures where we store the water in case of the urban model of rainwater harvesting. More modernized system of rainwater harvesting is in case of the urban areas. The main components of the urban models are roof catchment, gutters, downpipes, first flush pipe, filter unit, storage tank and collection pit. In a systematic manner, in the urban areas, the water harvesting techniques will be involved. Next, we will see some of the structures where we can store the water and what are the main dimensions of them. First, we will look into the design of small water harvesting structures, that is farm ponds. A farm pond is large hole dug out in the earth, usually square or rectangular in shape, which harvests rainwater and stores it for future use. As we all see the pond system. So, in the same way, these ponds may be in the form of square or rectangular shape. Mainly they are used to store the rainwater for the future use. It has an inlet to regulate inflow and an outlet to discharge excess water. The pond is surrounded by a small bund which prevents erosion on the banks of the pond. So as we have seen the structure of this pond, it has one inlet and the one outlet system, and the bund will be provided so that the erosion will not take place. The size and depth on the amount of land available, the type of the soil, the farmer's water requirements, the cost of excavation and the possible use of the excavated earth. So depending upon the available space as well as depending upon the available soil, depending upon the requirement, they will go with the depth and the dimension of this farm ponds. Water from the farm pond is conveyed to the fields manually by pumping or by both methods. So manually the water can be lifted from these ponds, or through the pump they can lift the water. So this is the diagram which shows the farm ponds. The stored water must be used for irrigation only, can be used for groundwater recharge also. It is not so that it should consist only of the surface water, it can also be used for the recharge of the groundwater. A farm pond must be located within the farm, drawing the maximum runoff possible in a given rainfall event. So the maximum runoff water can be stored and it should be located in such a way that the water can easily come and get filled with this farm. A percolation pond can be dug out in any area where the land is not utilized for agriculture. So, if we are having the purpose of storing the water below the ground surface, that cannot be used for the agricultural activity. So, the farm pond, it may be different for the agricultural activities, or it may be different for the recharge of the groundwater. So, in this, there are many different topics or the criterias where we can select this farm pond. First one is site selection. So think economically. We should select the site in such a way that it should be economic. Choose an area where a limited amount of excavation will be required to contain or hold back a large volume of water. We should select the area in such a way that the digging of the place should be very less and it should be utilized for the agricultural activity in a proper manner. Example, a valley where a dam can be constructed at a narrow pass is a good example. In case of the valley, if we construct the bunds and store the water, then it would be economic. Next is overland drainage. This is surface runoff from precipitation, melting snow or a spring flowing overland. Drainage area and annual precipitation rates will determine if the water supply will be adequate. Overland drainage means the drainage system should be in a proper manner so that the annual precipitation should come and reach this surface water pond. Next is groundwater. Ponds which acquire water mostly from groundwater are often called water table ponds. They are built by excavating below the water table at the location. Means at the greater depth if we store the water, they are called as the groundwater ponds. Next is impounding flowing waters. This can be plentiful water resource for a pond, but impounding flowing water can have adverse effect. It can block fish passage, warm the water downstream, cause sediment from upstream to fill the pond. This type require occasional removal of silt, hence not recommended to build the pond in this way. Impounding flowing water. So this is the plentiful water resource for a pond where simply the water will be made to come and store in a particular place, but it can block the fish passages. There are disadvantages which can cause the sedimentation from the water flowing from the upstream, and also the water stream downstream water will be easily warmed up. Next is other sources. If water cannot be obtained from the natural sources, other portions are available such as diversion ditches can be constructed to catch water from overland drainage that may bypass the pond. Roof runoff can be collected and sent to the pond, or a sump pump drain can be directed to the pond. Winter snow will recharge the pond when it melts in the spring. So these are all some of the other sources through which we can recharge. If the availability of the rainwater is not plenty, then we can go with the diversion ditches where the canals, they can feed the ponds, or the roof runoff water can be collected, or else the snow melt can also be collected. Next, coming to the construction of farm pond, how it has to be. After the site selection and pond dimension, decide the pond site should be cleared of all stones and woody vegetation. That is, the surface must be cleared. Before construction of farm pond, proper layout should be made for proper construction. If you want the pond to be for a longer duration of time, proper construction material as well as the technique should be involved. Next is earth moving machinery for excavation. Earth moving machinery for excavation. The site selected should be free from vegetation, bushes and other obstacle, and it should be leveled so that demarcation line of pond area can be drawn. That is, the surface should be properly cleared, and then it has to be made to be made to fill the water inside it. The design dimension of proposed pond can be drawn with the help of rope and lines. For demarcation, line powder can be used. So this is how we demarcate the place where we want to construct the ponds. Next is dimension of farm pond. The size of a pond should be relative to the size of the catchment area contributing surface runoff to the site. That is, the dimension of the farm pond has to be marked where the catchment area size will be decided. Ponds with too much watershed require expensive water control structures and are difficult to manage. If the water control structures are very large, it is difficult to manage this. So these are all the dimensions of the farm pond, how we have to construct these ponds. Next, coming to the advantages of farm ponds. They provide water to start growing crops without waiting for rain to fall. If we have the water in this, we can provide this water for the growth of the crops at the initial stage. They reduce the soil erosion and minimize siltation of waterways and reservoirs. So there will be no siltation and the reservoirs will be maintained. They recharge the groundwater. So these ponds can also recharge the groundwater resources. They improve drainage. The proper drainage system can be provided. So this image gives you the layout of the farm pond, how the farm pond can be constructed. So there is a typical average depth of the pond. Depending upon the soil type and the climatic conditions, the depth of each climatic conditions is given. So for the wetland it is 2 meter depth, humid areas 2.4 to 280 meter depth, moist subhumid area 280 to 3.15 meter, dry subhumid area 3.15 to 4 meter, semi-arid areas 4 to 4.8800 meters, arid area 4.80 to 5.50 meter. So this is about the ponds, that is the farm ponds, how it has to be constructed, and the models of rainwater harvesting systems both in case of the urban and the